don't forget to write down your attendance. I will go back and share my screen.
Madam, sorry, where do we write our attendance again?
Yes.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think I asked just now the first session. So you can write down now your attendance. Okay. So the first session we talk about the 3 types of issues, right? And we go through it. Now here are some of the methods for moral problem or any problem solving, not only moral. So ethical problem solving. Okay, there are 3 ways. You can choose 3, either one, or if you don't want to follow either one, it's up to you. Okay, but the 3 are covering all, I will think. You don't have to state which method that you use, but if you write down, I will understand from which method you do, from the way you write. Okay, there are 3 methods for solving the problem. Number 1 is line drawing. Number 2 is flow charting. And number 3 is creative middle way solutions. So we'll go through one by one, inshallah. Okay, line drawing. Line drawing is just a method useful when the principles are clear, but there seems to be a great deal of gray area. You mean there are clear things and there are things we are not clear. Okay, I will give you some example, then you see. For example here, because you read this, you won't understand until you see an example. So this is an example to do a line drawing method. For example, bribery. In the case of bribery, right? Conceptually, maybe you are not sure. Is bribery, is the problem, the scenario, does it involve bribery or no? And what is the definition of bribery, right? For example, if you give me, for example, I want to ask you a question. If it's before the exam and you went to your country, for example, you can go back to your country or your kampung, and you give me kuih or food or fruits from your country to me before the exam, is it considered bribery or no?
No.
No.
Why not? Why not? You're giving me something before the exam.
Can we say that it depends on the intention of the one who's giving you?
Oh.
Like before the exam, immediately, I think his intention is just for you to give him a good mark. So that's bribery. If it's just like right before the exams, his intention will be clear.
But we don't know what's intention of that person. So how do you make a judgment? Pass a judgment. We need to pass a judgment.
The timing for it, yeah, the timing.
So you give me a fruit or food before the exam, it's bribery. So I cannot accept any fruit from you. Or food. Say, madam, you look hungry. I give you a nasi goreng. You cannot.
Well, the timing is a bit tricky. I mean, why just the student cannot wait until the end of the exams. That will sound and appear more pure, more.
Oh really? You see you think the lecturer are hungry, and the fruit is only that season. If you wait until after the exam, the season is no more there. There's no strawberry, for example.
Or maybe the stake is not that high because it's not involving. It just involve
what?
The marks high.
Okay. So I'm a government servant. Okay, so each country have their own standard or definition of bribery or rasuah. The government of Malaysia, they give like a certain like guidelines, and the guidelines keep on changing, with time. Previously, it was stated it can be, I can't remember, maybe like 500 and below is okay. Now, not recently, 2-3 years, they changed it. You cannot give money more than, I think, 200 ringgit or 100 ringgit. It's very low. But you can accept reasonable, they call it reasonable food or fruits That's why if you go to a company, you don't give money, you give food. Food is okay, it's considered okay. Yes, it depends on the intention, but you can give 100,000 ringgit to 1,000, 1 million ringgit to a person, and you say, oh, my intention is nothing to do. You don't have to give me an A, but I just want to give you 1 million ringgit. Do you think that person will be affected when it involves a lot of money? So so bribery, of course, in the end, as a Muslim, it's clear it's with us and Allah knows what's in our intention. But to other people, they don't know, and they have to judge. You have anti-corruption committee that will chase you. So you need to know the laws. In Malaysia, what is the limit that you can accept or you can give? For food, normally it's okay unless you bring to, in order to you buy the person lunch but in Maldives. So then there is another thing, right? It's expensive to go there. Okay, so for example, in this case, if you want to use the method of line drawing, which is clear, what are the parameters that involving bribery, the gift size? Is it big or small, large or small? Timing, what's the timing? Is it before any recommendation or after? For example, before the exam or after the exam, or before the project or project to choose, or after? What's the reason? That's the intention. Responsibility for decision, is it your own responsibility? For example, it's a project, for example, it's an exam, you're giving me food, for example, but the exam is not only me assessing the exam, there are many other people, so that will be also affected. But if only me and you're giving the money to me, then the higher chance that it will be affecting the marks. Product quality, worst in industry, or product cost, highest in the market. So it will involve all these qualities. So to do line drawing is like this. So you write down the parameter or the feature over here, and the paradigm, is it large or small? So you put the opposite, large and small, before decision, after decision, you make a line. And then it is not technical at all. It's just to show, in the end, you can see visually which is it closer to? Is it closer to bribery, or is it closer to not bribery? So if you then, based on your heart or your thinking, you put the XXX there. Then from here you say, you can see that there is a lot more closer to bribery compared to the not bribery. So conclusion, justification, you can say is a bribery. Then you need to find solution for that. Okay, so this is one method. I don't know if you like this method, you can use this method. So up to you. Method number two is flowchart. Flowchart for engineering student, we are familiar with flowchart, right? So in this case, we use flowchart to help us analyze and come up with solution to the problem. Okay, so for example, I give you an example here. It's a scenario on Union Carbide who wants to build a plant in Bopak. Okay, that's a situation. And then you use a flowchart. So for example, are safety laws, you put question. Are safety laws in India as strict as in US? If yes, then your decision is to design plant as in US. If no, oops. If no, then are local laws adequate for safe action? Yes and no. And then you go from here, another question, yes and no. So the flowchart helps you to consequentially think of the problem and solution. That's one way. Some people prefer this, some people not. So up to you, and depends on the case study as well. So you from the case study, you identify which method is the best to come up with a solution. Is it this line drawing or flowchart? And the final method is creative middle way solution. You can read here. I told you where you can find the slides, right? Creative middle way solution, if you read everything here, it just means that it's a solution that attempts to some kind of compromise that will work for everyone. So basically, you come up with a solution that will compromise, that will make everybody happy. So you need to remember you you need to identify what is the consequences to all parties inside your case study. So creative middle way, you will look whether your solution will make everybody happy. So maybe the employer will be not angry, the employee will still retain the job, for example, or the environment, you will not harm the environment for a long term, maybe, right? Because in the end, when you come up with a solution, there's no black and white. There's no perfect answer. There might be, this is real life. Sometimes you do this, maybe there's a be some contra of some bad effects due to your decision. So you need to balance. So which one to balance is up to you. Life is always like that. You want to study or you want to, no, there's no balance on that. For example, can you give me an example that you need balance? For example, you want to study in the evening or you want to play football, futsal. Okay, study is important, but futsal also important maybe because you need to take care of your health. So you need to find the creative middle way of how to solve the problem. Maybe 3 days you study, 2 days you go to futsal, something like that. So creative middle way is a way you need to discuss how to answer that question that make everybody happy. However, sometimes all the methods doesn't work. In the end, maybe you need to make number 3, make the hard choice. Meaning, for example, you think that after you go through each solution, you have to make the hard choice. For example, hard choice is you need to go to the anti-corruption commission, for example. So when you go there and you report something, the person might be prosecuted. You know, if the person being prosecuted, the factory will have problem. He will never get job. He will hate you for the rest of your life, maybe, right? So but sometimes you have to make the hard choice for the betterment of a bigger betterment. Maslahah, mafsadah, a bigger maslahah, right? I think that's right. Okay, so I think that's all. You can read on the case study here. So the case study given to you tomorrow is something like this. You just need to read, try to understand, read, and then I will suggest you to read a few times, and then go through this, and then see, and then write first the problem of issues. If you cannot find more, read a few more times. See if there's any issues that you missed. Okay. Any question? You have any question?
So each of us will be given different case study.
No, all of you will be given the same case study and you are not allowed to discuss.
Okay, understood.
So I will give like a instruction. So you are not supposed to discuss and you're not supposed to look at your friends, but it's open book, you can go and read. And it's the same question. So, and if you get the same answer, exactly the same answer, I'll be questioning why. Because these are open-ended. There must be some difference in your thinking. So how you, if exactly everything the same, something not right somewhere. And don't forget, I will do the plagiarism check as well. So you will highlight. Okay, any more question?
No, madam.
Everybody understand? So I will, most probably I give a week or maybe 10 days to do. Should I give it later or tomorrow? I don't know, I haven't decided whether I should give it tomorrow and give 10 days or I give it later and make it 7 days or 7 days. Which one do you prefer?
Maybe later.
So Izwan say maybe later. The rest of you?
I agree with him if possible.
So later. So if later, then okay. I will give you instruction where you can download the question and where you can upload your answer. Okay, I will do make sure you don't copy from each other. And brothers, we are doing engineering ethics. If you copy, I don't know what to say. I can even justify to but you know, as I mentioned before, right? We have caught people cheating in the exam for engineering ethics. It's very sad. You know, the lecturer was like, what is it? Speechless to see the students actually cheating. So do not cheat. Even if you cannot do, you can always ask me. But do not cheat. But don't come last minute. And also the deadline. Every hour late, I will deduct 10%. Okay, so make sure that you follow the deadline. Every hour late, 10% be deducted from the marks of your assignment. So you need to be very punctual. Okay. So all right. And then we another thing. Do you have any more question? Can we close the case study? Any more question on the case study? No. 20. Okay, no question. I will close on the case study. Next. Okay. Last week on Thursday we didn't have class, right? So we're going to so I asked this morning session what they want. So I will ask you the same. Do you want to watch videos or you want a session, a class session? Which one? If you want a video, put a reaction. If you want the video, put a reaction. Watch video. Okay, great. Majority, majority want to watch video. I also want you to watch a video. So, Alhamdulillah. So I want you to so I want you need to watch before the next class. Okay, before Thursday class. So I will check. I will do in the WhatsApp. You need to tick over there. So I will see who's not reading yet. When you finish watching, put a tick next to put your name and a tick inside the WhatsApp group, and make sure you don't lie. Watch it properly. I want you to watch. If you go to the YouTube link, what do you call it? There's in the Gen Info, right? There's a maybe I can share for a while. Here, if you go to the Gen Info, there's a document, right, with all these what do you call it? Videos. Okay, I want you to watch week 6 and 7. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. Okay, so watch 4 videos. Additional is up to you whether you want to watch or no, but make sure you watch these 4 videos, and we're going to discuss on inshallah Thursday. Okay, unethical issues in engineering practices and Islamic views on natural disaster and harmful hazards. Okay. Any question on that? No? So make sure you do that. How many minutes we have left? Okay, so before we end, I want you to watch this video. Who read the news I put in the WhatsApp group? There are 2 news I put it there. Who read the news? Can you put the reaction if you read the news? Nobody? Wow. You're too busy to read? Fitri, watch it. Read it. Izwan? Only Fitri and Izwan? The rest you are too busy to read. Helping your mother. Huh? It's fine. You don't want to read, if you don't read, if you read, it's for your own knowledge. If you don't want to read, it's fine. Siapa yang baca dia dapat ilmu lah. Siapa yang tak baca, tak dapat ilmu. Okay, and you know, for us to, if you want to, thank you Asma. So if you want to go far in life, go far meaning that you want to be successful in life, you need to read a lot. Okay, and you need to read the right things, not the wrong things, and you need to watch a lot, not watch the wrong things, but the right things. Things in TikTok or things in Instagram which are not beneficial, why you are wasting your time watching it or reading it? Kadang-kadang, sometimes I look in the Instagram. I don't have TikTok, but sometimes I purposely I search TikTok, and then they bring me to this TikTok thing, and then I look at that. It's like, why people make themselves stupid? I don't understand. They do stupid things there, right? They do like, they dance stupidly in front of the camera. Why? I don't understand why. So that people watch. So, why are we to that extent now that we want to watch all this? We don't have more important things to do in our life. There are many important things to do in our life. Why we are wasting our time? First, doing the stupid act, and number two is watching. So even if you don't do, why do you watch? And if you watch, it gives motivation for that person to put it more. I have Instagram, and I look at the Instagram sometimes like, even these people post, I don't understand. And there's a lot of people viewing it. Sometimes I like to watch because I want to know what are the mindset of the society nowadays. Why? The question is why this kind of things? Why there's no, and if it's good, nobody wants to watch. If it's heavy, nobody wants to watch. And brothers and sisters, life is short. Life in this world is very short, and many things are happening around us, whether we want to know or we don't want to know. And Allah will ask us, why didn't you know? Why didn't you care? Why didn't you do anything? I keep on saying this because I keep on saying it to myself, right? So you brothers and sisters, you are still young. You have a lot of energy and inshallah, a lot of time. But we never know. You might die first, or I might die first, right? We don't know when we will die. But with this energy and youth, you should use your youth, your the what you call it, the energy that you have now, by learning and understanding everything around you. Read news, and not only read Malaysian news. Read the world news. Malaysian news you read, Malaysian world news you read. So once you understand the world, you become a wiser person. You not be somebody who are immature. You just want, I don't care, I want my cake. I don't care, I want my cake. You know, just have like, people doesn't have even rice to eat, and you are crying because you don't have cake. Okay, I want to end this today's class by watching this video. Okay, so by watching the class, you have no other choice, or you have to watch. If outside, you might not want to watch. Okay, alamak, macam mana ni? I cannot go back. Wait a second, I need to go back to that. I want you to watch and be critical. This is a good video because it gives some insight of what you can do, what we can do as an engineer to the world. Okay, so let's watch. You cannot see, let me know. Can you see? Can you see?
Yes, madam.
Right, thank you.
Yes, sewage. Every year we produce 1 million tons of it in the UK, and it produces its own waste, heat.
Wow.
Interest is growing in how to use this waste heat as a sustainable energy source. And here in East Anglia, it's being used in the building of a unique greenhouse project, which could revolutionize our country's farming industry. This will be the world's first greenhouse that is using heat from a water treatment plant, and that has the benefit of not only reducing the impact on the environment, but also reducing the UK's need to import produce. In the UK, we consume over 500,000 tonnes of fresh tomatoes every year. 80% of this, around 400,000 tonnes, is imported. The same goes for cucumbers and peppers. We import 75% of our cucumbers and 90% of peppers. These new greenhouses could not only help make the UK self-sufficient in produce, but also reduce carbon emissions by 75%. So Ben, we're now walking into the greenhouse. Blimey, it's really, really big.
Certainly one of the largest in terms of the UK. For every hectare of normal land, a greenhouse like this can produce 10 times more food using 10 times less water. We'd be looking at growing probably about 23 million peppers a year.
Wow.
From this particular facility.
So what is that as a percentage of the amount of consumption of peppers in the UK?
I'd say probably 5%.
A conventional greenhouse might use fossil fuels to provide its heat by burning gas or oil. But here the waste heat from the nearby sewage works is pumped 2.5 kilometres via an enclosed loop system to the greenhouse. The idea to use this waste heat came from thermal engineer Neil Lawson.
Well, it was inspiration from nature, really. Walking down the river with a dog on a winter's day, saw a stream coming in from the left and it was steaming and all the ducks were sitting on there, obviously enjoying the warmth. So I followed that stream up to its source and came up to the sewage treatment works. They were discharging 1,000 litres a second of clean water into the river at up to 25 degrees centigrade. That equates to 54 megawatts worth of waste heat. That's enough heating for about 15,000 homes.
And using geographic information system mapping, 43 sites close to wastewater centres have been identified around the country, including the Anglian Water Treatment Plant near Bury St Edmunds. So we're now at the water recycling plant, where this treated water will then be pumped into a station and the heat will be removed from that process, and then the heat will be transferred to the greenhouse.
We're taking a low source energy, which is otherwise a waste energy, using heat pumps to upgrade or compress that low grade heat to make it useful heat to heat a greenhouse. A greenhouse uses a lot of energy. Here we have an abundant source available.
Another benefit to this new farming technique is reducing reliance on countries where water is no longer so abundant.
Parts of southern Spain, actually, their groundwater now is saline, and they're having to develop saline-resistant crops. Whereas here in the UK, we don't have that problem. It rains all the time. We can get all the water we need from capturing it on the roof, recycling it.
And that's not all the roof can do.
And the entire roof is designed to maximise the amount of light that comes into it, and so much so that the glass is diffuse, and it enables the light to be spread evenly across the entire crop. It's going to be an extremely high-tech greenhouse. It's actually quite remarkable. It might look unassuming, but actually there's a lot of artificial intelligence included in the environmental computers. All the vents are controlled by artificial intelligence. They're constantly scanning Met Office data for prevailing wind directions.
The trend for computer-driven farming is growing. A 6-month autonomous greenhouse competition was recently held in the Netherlands. Teams fully automated the process of growing tomatoes. Sensors, camera detection, and models provided the needed information to get the plants the exact nutrients. And of course, robots play a role in greenhouse production, and here they will be deployed to help carry vegetables around the central aisle to the pack house. There are no plans to use robots like this sweeper bot to help pick the produce yet. But the coronavirus pandemic has highlighted the need to think about growing food locally and perhaps with limited human involvement.
No one knows what the future holds, so with this particular pandemic, let's say the virus could mutate and all of a sudden we don't have enough food. We've benefited from unrestricted movement and free movement of goods as well, and that may be set to change. If we don't have a bit more resilience in the UK on our food production, there could be issues down the line.
These issues could disappear depending on the success of this project. If all 43 sites were up and running, low-carbon farming say they could produce all of the UK's tomato requirements and at least half of its peppers. Until then, the first shipments from here are expected to hit the supermarkets next spring.
Okay, finish. Stop there. Stop this. Okay. So did you manage to watch? Yes. Is it clear? Was it clear?
Yes.
So it's a very good. It's just the news was yesterday, so it's actually very good way of solving a problem, right? So your project is supposed to be like that. In the end, you're supposed to come up with like a video like that, something like that lah, to show what is your contribution. So what they did was they are using heat coming from sewage, right? To be they going to channel it to the greenhouse, right? So because the problem is food, and Malaysia also have a food problem. Anywhere in the world have a food problem, especially when people boycott us, and especially during the COVID-19, there'll be more problems. So these are the some. So I want, it's like a motivation for you. So if they can do it, come up with things like that, why can't we, right? And why can't we do it from our perspective? So later when you become an engineer, or you don't become an engineer, or you become anything, always think how you can use, because Allah gives you akal to think. So use this, even if you don't use engineering, whatever you do at civil, use or electrical, use any knowledge you have to make better things for everybody, for even the world. So hopefully your project will be as good as or even more better than the video there, inshallah, right? The most important is your intention lah. And then and may Allah bless the intention. I think that's all for today. Please watch the video in the YouTube link, and I will see you on Thursday, inshallah. Okay, any problem with the project, let me know. If you have any problem with the project, let me know. Don't come last minute, because then I don't know how to help you if it's too last minute. Okay, let's close the class. Can we have a brother to recite the dua, please? A brother who haven't recited before. We need a new brother. No brother. No leaders of the ummah, huh? Nobody? You don't have. Do we have Rijal over here? Rijalu. Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala nisa. I'm just asking you to recite a dua, make a dua. I haven't asked you to go to war yet. Anybody who haven't recited? So all of you have recited dua?
Me, madam, can I?
Okay, can you please recite a dua, please?
Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Allahumma arzuqna ilman nafi'an wa amalan salihan wa rizqan tayyiban. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Short, hopefully with a sincere, pure intention, Allah will accept. Okay, let's close with tasbih kifara and surat al-Asr. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. All of us will be in loss. Illa alladhina amanu, except those who have iman. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihat, then the one who do good things. Watawasaw bil haqq, watawasaw bis sabr, the one who keep on giving advice on the truth and keep on giving advice with patience. So otherwise, if you don't do this, we'll be in lost. So hopefully Allah will put us on the right path. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.